the story of the young man who confronted the giant. Imagine being in a situation where you're challenged by something so big, so impossible, that it feels like nothing in you could overcome it. Fear consumes you, doubt paralyzes you, but you know that if you do nothing, you will lose the battle. Now imagine you have to face the impossible. There's no way back. This is the story of a young man who faced the greatest giant of his time, and not only faced him, but defeated him. In a time when the greatest warriors were considered the most powerful, a giant appeared. Goliath, a man nearly 3 meters tall, dressed in iron armor, challenged the army of Israel every day, humiliating them and calling them to battle. Everyone was afraid. No warrior dared to face him. It was a psychological war more than a physical one, where fear took over everyone. But among the soldiers, there was a young shepherd. He wasn't trained to fight like the others. He didn't wear heavy armor. His only weapon was faith. The courage that comes from faith. David, the youngest among his brothers, was not intimidated by Goliath's threats. He, who tended sheep, knew that faith in God could turn any impossible situation into reality. He rose up and decided to face that giant without hesitation, without doubt. He rejected King Saul's armor, which was too big for him, and took only 5 stones in his sling. Emphasized David's insecurity in the face of pressure, but also his full trust in God. What makes someone face the greatest and most terrifying enemy is not strength, but the certainty that God is on their side. And David had that certainty. The battle of faith against fear. The music intensifies with thunder or drum beats, raising the tension. When David approached Goliath, the giant laughed at him, mocked him. A frail and inexperienced young man against an unbeatable warrior. It was a joke to Goliath, but David wasn't fighting Goliath. He was fighting fear, the impossible. He looked at the giant and said, "You come to me with a sword and a spear, but I come to you in the name of the Lord of hosts." With a simple move, David used his sling, fired the perfect shot, and Goliath fell. The crowd went silent. The impossible had become real. What we learn from David's victory is not that he won by his strength, but that he won by his faith. He believed that if God was with him, no force could stop him. David was not the greatest warrior, but he was the bravest, because his strength did not come from himself, but from the Creator. Have you ever faced a Goliath in your life? A problem, a fear, a situation that seems bigger than you can bear? What David teaches us is that when we place our trust in God, the impossible becomes just another battle to be won. It doesn't matter how big the giant is. What matters is the size of our faith. And maybe today you are facing a Goliath, but remember, if David won, you can too.